And now it's time for your viewer comments. Azan Ghana 1973 says, I like that they omitted the red from the text dial, making it more monochrome. In my view, this is the reason the green SMP is such a hit. Definitely like it, but we'll see if I pick it up. Yes, he is still talking about the Seamaster 60th anniversary edition of James Bond, and I also like that it was monochromatic with its dial and removed that red color on the Seamaster. That is also a very good move from Omega. I like that. Well, why do we like that? Well, one, it makes it different from the regular Seamasters, and two, it's a lot more vintage looking because most vintage watches tend to be monochromatic, as well the restrictions and the limitations of printing back in the day. But nevertheless, it's a good combination for the dial. Chronocraze says, I like it. Never was a fan of most of the previous ones that were so literal in their 007 branding and tribute. Just too in your face, many of them. And I feel that almost it's cheesy to wear. Perhaps my favorite in somewhat the recent past is the Spectre Seamaster. Then maybe the No Time to Die from the last movie. Yes, so he is also echoing his sentiments that a lot of these limited and special edition watches for James Bond are really tacky and really deliberate and in your face with their branding. The 007 on the dial, the 007 on the indexes, the 50 on the bezel, which we're going to talk about later also. These are too obvious. Some of the better tributes are actually subtle, unless it's meant for a cartoony character like Super Mario, for example, with Tag Heuer. That works because it is a cartoony and hilarious character to begin with. But for someone who's kind of serious, even though it's fantastical at times, like James Bond, it's still preferred to be a lot more subtle. And that's why he likes also the Spectre Seamaster, because it's very subtle. You barely see any 007 both on the front and at the back. So that's something that hopefully Omega takes cues even more in the future. And from the latest Seamaster, it seems like they're doing that. Patrick Jean Philippe, 17679 says, oh my goodness, all of these names. Nice summary video. I would have preferred an identical watch to the No Time to Die, but in grade 5 titanium. Okay, and then he lists all of the things that he wanted to about this new Seamaster, but the main thing about that is a grade 5 titanium. Okay, he wanted here a grade 5 titanium Seamaster that is a step up from the current titanium No Time to Die version, but also he wanted titanium main plates and titanium winding balances, screwed white gold weight, and so on. Now this would really, if not double the price of the Seamaster if this actually happened. But I actually agree with some of his ideas, because if you did the Seamaster in grade 5 titanium, you'll be able to polish some of its facets, which would go well with this kind of setup, because it is trying to continue the DNA of the previous Seamaster, which had polished chamfers and that lyre lug, compared to the No Time to Die, which is mostly flat and matte, you know? So having it in grade 5 titanium would really make it shine, so to speak. However, that also would increase the price tremendously. Remember, we're talking about Swiss watches here. The Swiss has a pricing on most of its components, and everything priced in Switzerland is really astronomically expensive. So to account for that, we might be even looking for $15,000 or $20,000 for a grade 5 titanium Seamaster like this. And who would want that? Okay. Jogbird says, maybe Rolex didn't get the 007 contract because they weren't willing to do any of those branded watches. Maybe. I don't know about that. What I know is that the costume designer for GoldenEye, when she was approached to pick a watch for the next 007 movie, She picked the Seamaster because her father, who's in the Navy, and also along with his other Navy friends, all wore a Seamaster. So that influenced the decision. And since then, she's been using the Seamaster in the movies. And even down to today, she's also credited to have a sort of a partnership with Omega with regards to the James Bond franchise. And I guess that, yeah, the partnership just went on because it's a little bit more lucrative on the Omega side than in Rolex. And Rolex more than happily ignores such at the very least. That's what I know. And Rolex has been focusing on athletes and supposed real people who make a difference in the community or in nature or in philanthropy and whatnot. So they have gone to two different approaches in this phase. While Omega endorses a fictional character, whoever that actor may be playing as James Bond, while Rolex tends to go for the actual person and his accomplishments as their endorsement. At Thorpedro, at Thorpedro F1 says, the non-Spectre edition of the Seamaster 300 Master Coaxial is simply the best Bond watch ever. Just have a look at it among my vids and tell me I'm wrong. Okay, now this is something that I really do not like. When someone writes a comment in my videos just to fish for me to look into their own videos and try to probably promote it. Well, here's something that's not going to happen in this channel. I'm not going to promote any other YouTuber that may in time be a competition to me. I'm not going to show any of their videos in my videos because, quite frankly, that's promotion for competition. I'm not going to be duped into doing that. Now, Thor Pedro F1, I have looked into your videos and I've seen all of your watch related videos. Although I like your car videos, they're pretty nice. But your watch related videos are just portrait videos of your watches without any narration nor composition whatsoever. So why should I even bother mentioning it or show it in a video? That will never happen in this channel. You're forever banned from the show.